Oh, politics in this city going to change a lot over the next couple of weeks. Now, Soraya Martinez Ferrada stepping into the spotlight as the new leader of Ensemble Montréal and the party's candidate for mayor. Of course, we're going to the polls in November of this year. The former federal tourism minister was acclaimed after running uncontested for the leadership of Ensemble Montréal. Now, Martinez Ferrada previously served as a Montreal city councillor, says she wants to unite Montrealers. And I should point this out. This is why I say things are going to change over the next couple of weeks. CJAD Montréal, they're going to elect their new leader on March 15th. It's going to be an interesting time in Montreal politics. Let's now go to Soraya Martinez Ferrada, who is on the line. Madame Ferrada, welcome to the show again.
Yes, thank you for having me again.
I suppose congratulations are in order, so congratulations.
Well, thank you for that.
Okay, so first things first, you are still currently an MP in the House of Commons in Ottawa. You represent Hochelaga. I just want to know, now that you have been acclaimed leader, you are leader of Ensemble Montréal, how long will you stay on officially as an MP?
Well, I was very clear around the fact that when the campaign will officially launch for the mayorship race, of course I will be there as the candidate for that leadership and that campaign. As per now, yes, I'm still the MP. I'm doing actually a lot of work on the ground still. I'll be in my riding today actually and doing a lot of things in the riding because I have a commitment, and when I do something, I do it until the end. And as you know, an MP, when you're no longer an MP, you cannot replace an MP. You can replace a minister, but not an MP.
And I imagine the fact that we may be in an election race a federal election in a week, that's actually a possibility. I guess that will make the decision for you in some ways coming up.
Because I was very clear that I was not running. I mean, I was very clear on the commitment that I took for Montreal. I resigned as a minister. I said that I was not running in the next federal election. Because I want to commit to Montreal, and that was the message that I wanted to send.
No second thoughts. I saw Anita Anand, who said she was not going to run again on Friday. Mark Carney shows up in Oakville, and she's like, "I'm making the decision to spend less time with my family. I'm running again." So no second thoughts now that the Liberals are at 40% in the polls.
Well, for my own decision in my own riding, I knew that I could win my riding. Every time I've been said to lose, and I've won, and I knew that I could win so this was not doing a decision on the spite of the riding. It was a decision on choosing Montreal and coming back to, my heart and soul, which is being a city councillor at the beginning of my career and coming back to Montreal and serve Montrealers in the next election. And I hope, be able to unite Montrealers around an alternative where the voices of citizens guides our decisions, where, services are efficient and improve daily life, and where collaborative leadership brings out, the best ideas for everyone. So I want to make sure that, in the next election, we have a clear alternative to the actual CJAD Montréal administration. And looking forward to going around the city in the next few months.
So let's get down to that. So how will you set yourself apart from what CJAD Montréal is offering? Because one thing CJAD Montréal, they have a brand, and it's like Coca-Cola, they've got a brand, right? CJAD Montréal, I know what the brand stands for. How do you set Ensemble Montréal apart and let Montrealers know what that brand stands for?
Well, I think we'll have a lot to say about that in the next coming election. As you know, the platform and the vision that I will share with Montrealers will have a few months ahead of me to do that. But one thing is, for me, is listening to Montrealers, and not only listening, but working with them and constructing the city with them and not against them. If you take, for instance, Camille Hood, and I was actually reading the report of the Office de Consultation Publique de Montréal yesterday, and I was reading it. 39,000 people surveyed. 10,000 people went to those consultations saying, this is what we would see as Montreal and as Montreal, and how do we see it? And they did not listen. So I think what really sets us apart is that we want to listen to Montrealers. We want to do the right choices with them and hear the voices of citizens, and making sure that the decisions we're making illustrate what we're listening on the ground.
Coincidentally, we have Alan D'Souza scheduled for this show, booked for this show a little bit later on about Camille Hood, and I guess now he's one of your colleagues there at Ensemble Montréal.
Yeah,
but let me
absolutely.
ask, I think this is a good question for you because do you know, the city now, they're going to go through with a contract apparently, right? Like for the first part of this transformation of Mount Royal. And for you as someone that's going to have to run against Projet Montréal, do you kind of sort of want them to keep going through so that it becomes a really big ballot issue? That like when Montrealers vote in November, one of the things they're voting about is Camille Hood?
Well, I think that would be a good question to ask for the actual administration. Why are you rushing something that you actually started many years ago, and now you want to rush this before an election and tie future administration to a decision that maybe citizens don't want? So make it a ballot question, and don't rush into giving a sole contract to one only person that actually bid on the project, and making sure that you're actually listening to Montrealers. And so then let's put it to the vote. And I think that's a good, and I think Alan D'Souza will be coming to your show and we'll share those thoughts with you. But I totally agree with Alan on this thing, is saying, we have to make sure that citizens are being heard, and one way to hear them is getting to vote on it.
Can I ask you, we're with Soraya Martinez Ferrada, new leader of Ensemble Montréal. Why was it an acclamation? Like, part of me is like, I was really surprised. I saw the tweet on Friday. I'm like, wait, what? This happened? And, you would think lots of people would want to lead this party. It seems like nobody wanted to lead. Well, I know, you wanted to lead it, obviously. But I'm surprised. Were you surprised you didn't have anyone to go up against?
Well, I did hear a lot of names, and people were really interested, and really good people like David Artel, Claude Pizarre, Luc Poirier. There was many names going around saying people were interested in running. But, I cannot talk for their own decisions. I made a really thoughtful decision. I decided mid-January that I was going to reflect on this decision, and I made a choice, and I moved really quickly on this choice. I did not decide the dates of the party of the leadership race, and after that, people are, I was looking forward to a race, but if people didn't want to sign up, it's unfortunately not my fault. But I was ready for that race, and it would have been an interesting race.
Let me ask you, what do you think is the one topic that Montrealers will hear you repeat or talk a lot about between now and November? Do you already know what your quote-unquote issue will be?
Yeah, like I said before, I think making sure that we're listening to citizens and making sure that reflects in our decisions, making sure that our services are efficient.
Can I just say, it sounds a little bit too broad, and I'm just speaking frankly here. To me in my mind, I'm thinking about housing or traffic or homelessness or snow removal,
yes.
Right?
Of course. We're going to have many issues that we're going to have to present Montreal to our vision of what that should be. And I have many ideas on that. And I'm already talked about a few of those in a few interviews that I've had. But for me, the most important thing is starting by listening to Montreal. What do you want to see in the city? And of course, housing is an issue. Homelessness is an issue. Having a real concrete plan of resilience on our economy, because maybe tomorrow we'll have tariffs in the U.S.
Yeah.
And we have to know that this will impact Montreal as a city. So we have to have a plan. We have to have ideas how to counter that. We have to have a plan on making sure that our services and citizens are getting what they're paying for in your taxes, and their services are efficient, making sure that we're planning better, making sure that we're, collecting the garbage every week, and that we're snow removal.
Oh, I like to hear that. That's music to my ears, right? Garbage collection and snow removal. I love when I hear a mayor of Montreal talk about providing services. It's fantastic.
But of course, there's no way for you and citizens and for Montreal to be able to dream of the future and hope for a bigger project if you cannot take care of the small things, which is garbage collection. Of course, that's for me, it's a basic need as a city, and you can build on bigger projects if you can take care of the smaller ones, and which are very, very impact the daily life of citizens. And yes, you will hear me talking about those things a lot in the coming months.
Looking forward to those discussions. Congrats once again. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Soraya Martinez Ferrada is the new leader of Ensemble Montréal.